Hey, Brandon.
Yo.
Guess what? Pray us in.
Let's do this, Heavenly Father.
Yes,
we
sir.
just ask for your guidance and protection, and we just ask that the Holy Spirit go before us and guide our words, and hopefully we can help someone out there that's been through something similar. Amen.
Amen. Let's go to work.
I'd love to have fucking Back in Black bring us in.
I've tried it. Remember when I played Ozzy on here when he passed away? That whole thing got cut out. So yeah, when it's copyrighted, it does it. It's fine. I got it. We're moving in over there. We're gonna revamp this entire process, brother. Revamp this entire thing. What?
I want to read something.
Talk to me.
This is right. This it's funny. This is right turn.
My
too.
word count was high on the last
I know.
episode, so you need to get your word count.
Well, because we don't have Katie sitting in here to help. She's over there. You got her over there. Slave
I put
driving.
baby in the corner.
Yeah,
I put baby
Nobody
in the corner.
does that. So here we go. Imagine this. Page 127. The family afterwards. The head of the house ought to remember he is mainly to blame for what befell his home. He can scarcely square the account in his lifetime. But he must see the danger over concentration on financial success. Although financial recovery is on the way for many of us, we found we could not place money first. For us, material well-being always followed spiritual progress. Never proceeded. Here we go. Since the home has suffered more than anything else, it is well that a man exert himself there. He is not likely to get far in any direction if he fails to show unselfishness and love under his own roof.
Amen to that.
There you go. Just like page 19. What's top page 19 say, Larry?
I don't fucking
None
know.
of us make a sole vocation of this work, but a greater demonstration of these principles lies before each of us in our respective homes, occupations, and affairs. That means we're supposed to shine at home, at the job, and in society. We go to meetings to get strength and give strength. We don't live there.
That's right.
As opposed to what Brandon that's what Brandon used to say. I'm gonna fucking stay in these rooms. I'm never gonna go hunting again.
You ever been tested for
I'm gonna just go to the room. Yeah, he was miserable.
Have you ever been tested for autism?
Me? Yeah. I'm on the spectrum. Fuck off.
Fuck me. What's on top page 19? Fuck, how the fuck would I know? I can't even remember what I had for breakfast. Jesus
Linguiça
Christ.
eggs for me.
Anyways, Brandon.
Yo.
Who's here?
I have brought my lovely wife, Jamie, along.
Man, this is why Rob... Sorry, I guess I should shut the fuck up. Say it.
Promise?
Hi, Jamie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. This is why Rob read The Family Afterwards, because the episode 92 was Justin and Brandon.
Yep.
And now we got Jamie, right, to come in and talk about, the wife. We've had Katie on, we've had Bonnie on.
Well, because
times.
after that podcast, people are thinking, how the, especially the brothers that know Brandon, how the hell did he get a son like that? You're about to get your answer.
Yep.
Yeah.
The parent that did the raising is here
Well,
now.
that same with Katie. I mean, thank God for her.
Yeah.
No, I made plenty of mistakes. So
Well, you did a lot of good mistakes because Justin was an amazing to listen to. He stumped me a few times on just at all listening, and that don't happen very often.
And it don't happen by accident, kid. It doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
We've all raised kids. That shit don't happen by accident.
No.
There's some good stuff happening. So lay into this.
Jamie, I know you're really, really nervous, but can you please stay to the microphone?
yes,
Thank you. Otherwise, our listeners go, this is what they're going to hear is like this.
So I'm going to get to
Hit me.
before we get to all the down and dirty of which we're not going to. The greatest
hell, we're not.
We will. But one of the greatest compliments I've heard of a wife give a husband was this. We went to dinner last week. Jamie and Brandon and Bonnie and I went to steak. And I got the prime rib was fucking
Yeah, I was jealous.
That prime rib was good. We went to Batchy's, and we got a good tax return back this year. Thank you, Donald Trump. I don't care what anybody thinks. Regardless, we got a good tax return back, and I'm going to thank him for that. Anyway, so my wife's getting carpet and baseboards is what she's wanted. Says I knew that's what she's been wanting, so we can afford it. And they got married the same year we did, just a few months before. So our 25th anniversary is coming up, and I go, my wife's getting carpet, and I go, Jamie, what are you getting? She goes, I got a sober husband. That's all I need.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Now that made me cry.
Oh,
that brought tears to my eyes.
Yeah, it definitely stumped Rob.
Yeah.
That just stumped me.
He stopped, and I was like,
Yeah. Dude, there's no better compliment. What else is there?
I can tell you my first experience with Jamie, I guess I could probably go back, is she instant messaged me in no, maybe I reached out to you through Facebook when I think it was his like 90 days or something, and we were just back and forth. And I think I commented on you and said, it takes the strength of a woman, because I know I have one right here to do what you're doing. Right. And thank God for you ladies to stick by. Right. It tells us in our book, we, for some reason we attract strong women. Right. And I think the men that lose their wives, to this disease, more than likely probably shouldn't have been married to him in the first place. I don't know, but
or ours were so sick in the head. We made him so sick in the head that they just stuck around through the hard part of it. Dr. Bob said it, but the family is sick because of the alcoholic. But they just didn't give. I don't know. We're married to incredible women. That's all. That's all you can say.
That's right. So Jamie, take us through Brandon's little escapades.
Little escapades.
No, I want to hear just about. There had to be love. You got married. You guys were young.
Yes. So I had a very volatile childhood.
Oh, that's right. We got together because we all heard Bonnie's. This is like Bonnie's spirit animal.
Yeah.
Their childhoods. Identical, and the way they see life.
Jamie, that's scary. I know Bonnie very well.
Very
We
similar.
have a lot in common.
A lot. Yeah.
We do. I relate a lot to Bonnie. A lot of abuse from my uncle. It was just constant. And my parents, they didn't abuse us, but they were so volatile together. My dad he was an alcoholic.
Is he dead?
Yes. He passed away in 2007. But man, they were both very antagonistic. And so my dad would say something, my mom would fire back, and before I knew it, fists were flying, and she gave as good as she got.
Wow.
And
Physical.
And it was, it was really just there was no calm with my parents. And then they divorced, and shortly after that, my oldest brother died in a freak accident at work. And that moment, my whole family fell apart. Everything fell apart. So I lost my mom, I lost my dad, I lost my brother. And then it was up to me to figure out how to take care of my little brother.
Your age?
I was almost 13.
Okay.
And so I didn't know what to do, and so I just did what I thought I could do to help with my little brother. And by the time I was about 15, everybody just wanted to pretend as if my brother didn't exist. Like, nobody wanted to talk about him. Nobody wanted to say his name. The grief was so intense. And yet no one wanted to walk through the grief. And I did. And I kept coming up and we got to talk about this. We have to do something. We can't live like this.
Can I ask how he died?
Yeah, he was at work. Okay. And he was in the back of a pickup. And they were only going like 5 or 10 miles an hour.
Okay.
And he was going from, one house to another, dirt road, hit a bump. He happened to be leaning over the side just enough that when he hit that bump, it threw him out. And he hit a couple of rocks just right, and he was brain dead.
Very dramatic then. Very traumatic then.
Yeah.
Very, yeah.
So,
and it was right at Christmas.
Yep. So, it was 10 days before Christmas. So, it changed everything, and it changed how I seen the world. It changed how I viewed people. Most people, it's their dad that's like he was quite a bit older than me, and so he was my superhero. Like he was the one I looked up to. He was the one that brought me stability when my parents were.
What's the age difference, Jamie?
So he was 20, so he's 8 years older.
Okay. That's a difference.
So he was 20 when he died.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was just, it's not putting him on a pedestal. Everyone's encounters with him, he was, something different for everyone. But for me, he was my everything. He was my safe place.
Right.
And, you know, we fought and argued and, you know, just like siblings. I drove him crazy, you know, like.
Baby sister.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
But he, at the end of the day, he was my brother. And he loved like no other brother. And he taught me what it was like to be an older sibling because we had a younger brother.
And the age difference between you and the baby?
6 years.
That's quite a difference.
There's a spread there.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's 14 between old.
Boy,
Yeah.
Mom and Dad didn't get along very much at all, did they?
No. No, it was just really, really toxic. And, but one thing, like, even though my parents, it was terrible, the one thing I do credit my mom, well, there's many things, but one thing for sure was she didn't trash my dad in front of me. So as mad as she would get, and she would see that she knew that we saw these things, she didn't trash him. She didn't say, you know, hateful, terrible things about my dad, which fast forward allowed me some of that insight with Brandon. So it
Not
gave,
to tear him down.
yeah.
Okay.
And to allow my children to see their father as their father and not through my glasses, not through my jadedness or my anger. It allowed me to let them talk about all their feelings that they had and not add any input. Well, you should be feeling this way, or, you know, well, he did say that. You
You know how rare that is?
Extremely.
I've never heard that of all the people I've sponsored, the men I've sponsored, when there are children involved, and there's that going on in the marriage. The children are used as weapons.
Yep.
9 times out of 10.
And that is something that I have advocated
And that's who pays the price.
against, is doing that. I have had friends who have done that, and my first thing is, you will be the one that they will turn on when they get older because of what you're doing.
Right.
Wow.
You will be that person. You're going to be that parent. They're going to choose the other parent. Not that there should be a choice, but
But it happens.
it will come
I
down
got a great
to
story
that.
about that.
So, anyways, I moved out at 16. I met this guy that drove me absolutely crazy. He would not leave me alone. He kept showing up at my house.
Son of a bitch.
His stepbrother was our roommate. And I moved to Oakdale thinking, okay, like, he's not going to follow me. He's like, but he worked right down the street. And so there he was.
Stalker.
And I just didn't trust men for obvious reasons. And so he just said, hey, let me go, like, let me take you out. Go out with me. You know, if you don't have a good time or it's not what you think, you know, I'll leave you alone. You know, I won't come back. He says, I just want to go out with you. And I did. And he was not what I expected. He was, I knew to some extent that it was, you know, it was a challenge for him. But
To ask you to go out?
Yeah, like, I was the challenge. Like, I can get her. I can get her.
All right.
Like, you know. And I know she said no, but I can do this, you know, because that's...
But let's be honest. Men like the challenge, and women like to be pursued.
Oh, for sure.
I could see it. I mean, I knew that part. But I saw much more. I've told him over the years that the person that I saw is the person that's sitting there. It just took 30 years to get him back. So I saw him. He was kind. And he was just my safe place. And I hadn't had that since my brother died. I hadn't had that. And so I get asked a lot, why did you stay? You know, because as many times as I've cursed God, and I've cursed Brandon, when I sit next to him, it's true. it's right. No matter how mad I've been, and no matter all the terrible things that we've been through, it's just true. And so we started, I was just almost 17, and he was just barely 19, and that's how we started. And then when he turned 21, it was like, I honestly didn't even know he had a problem. I didn't know anything.
Were you drinking at all? I mean, were you?
Oh my gosh.
But the problem is
Rarely.
meth is his problem at that time.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But see, I had kind of stepped away from all that because I got pregnant.
Okay.
And I tell my daughter, like, she knows, and my son too, is, man, when they came into my world, it was my most precious gift. Because they taught me more about love and just like what you would do for another human being. And I didn't even know that any of that was possible.
Yeah.
And so I spent most of my effort and energy in how can I just be the best mom I can possibly be. And Brandon, it didn't go off the rails like right away. It was a very kind of slow
Progression?
Yeah, like, and I would say to him, I'm like, how come you were out so late? And he was like, oh, the boys. And I would be like, well, right on. I'm glad you're spending time with them, but like, maybe not so late, know? And then the late turned into, not being home like at all, except to shower. And then it was like, well, okay, what I don't understand. And so little by little, it was very, very slow, progressive, but little by little, I could see him slipping away. And so I was trying to like fight for him because I'm like thinking, what's happening? And then before I knew it, I was pregnant with our son, and I was just like, okay, neither one of us are fit at this point. Like, this is, so it snowballed. And then before I knew it, like, we were just in the thick of it. And it was, you just put your head down and you raise your chin one day, and it's just like, what happened?
Right. Were your kids involved in like school? And so like,
oh yes,
so all the activities
Yep.
are involved. So that's consuming your mind.
Yep.
And you're able to put away Brandon because you're consuming your mind as mom.
Yeah. Well, and I had to.
And dad, kind of.
Yeah.
And I had to, because if I continue, and I learned.
Yes, Rob. Yes, she was being mom and dad.
And dad, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
But yeah, I continued it for about 8 or 10 years, just like fighting him. Like, what is going on? Like, why are you doing all this? Like, I am here, your kids are here. And I had to make a decision because I was so miserable, and I was searching for answers. I was searching for, like, how did we get to this point? Like, what did I do wrong? Or, why aren't we enough? Like, I didn't understand alcoholism, which is crazy because my dad was, and I knew my dad had a problem, but I didn't understand alcoholism as a disease. I thought it was a choice. I thought it was, you were sad and mad at your spouse, or,
right.
And you would just go
Fuck you drinking.
Yeah. And I kind of just thought that's what it was. And I had to make a decision because I had some health issues happening. And, before we got all the test results back, of course, they tell you all the worst stuff, and they say, look, if it's what we think it is, there aren't a lot of surgical options, amputation of your arm, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wait, what? I was just like, and I remember sitting with him in my truck outside the gym, and our son was in the gym, and I remember begging him, because I was like, if something happens to me, they need you. And I can't keep being you. So like, I need you to like show grace with Bubby. I need you, you know, to hold space for Brianna. Like, I need you to step up. Like, I need you to be their parent. And it was literally like, as soon as they told me that I was going to be okay, that they still wanted to monitor the mass it's in my bone. They still want to monitor it, and they still wanted to measure it, keep an eye on it. But as of right now, that's where we're at. We were just going to watch it. And I was like, okay, he was back on it. I mean, and it was 10 toes down, and he was like.
But you backed off for a little bit on that?
Yeah.
On that note?
Yeah, he did.
Katie said something. She wrote something, and because she said the same thing. You were surviving at that point.
Oh, yeah.
During that point, you were just surviving. You know,
yeah.
Katie has said that multiple times. I was just surviving.
I mean, for 20-something years.
Yeah, I was doing whatever it took to survive. That's what she...
Just get day to day.
But 2015 was a turning point for me.
How so?
Because not only the health issues, I had failed surgery in my shoulder. So I have chronic pain. I wasn't able to continue the work that I was doing. So I felt like I was losing my independence. And, you know, when you plan someone's funeral, like, who are you going to call? Are they going to, you know, what are we going to do? How am I going to tell my kids? This was a constant worry that I had. And, you know, I was such a high functioning, depressed, anxious person that I was like, I cannot continue to live this way. So I made a conscious choice. I went through the whole, am I codependent? What do I have to do? Like, what is going on with me? And I made the decision to stay. And I made that decision because when I sat next to him, it was true and it was right. And so I was like, okay. So no matter what, no matter all the bad things, no matter all the bad things I said to my friends or vented, or it was true and it was right. And I had to figure out a way to heal as much as I possibly could for my own sanity and stay married. And so I kind of disassociated a little bit. I pulled away from him. I stopped asking him to talk to me, or I just started going through motions with him. And on the flip side of that, I was doing a lot of reading and doing a lot, like Justin said it in the previous one. We did a lot of AA things. I didn't know those were AA things. Those were books that I found along the way at the library. And I'm like, hey, this is... Because we didn't have anyone to model after. Right. So like we were kind of flying blind at this, and all of our models wasn't stellar. Mm-hmm. So we were trying to like live in a world where we really didn't know how to communicate. We didn't know how to have conversation. So I learned from books. I read, and then I tried it, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this with my kids. And
can I ask real fast,
yeah.
Amy? And sorry, your mom was still alive.
Yeah, she's alive.
Could you talk to her about any of this then?
You know, my mom she's a lovely person, but my mom hasn't healed her own wounds.
Okay.
And she suppresses everything. And so there were traumas like losing my brother, my dad, having a psychotic brother herself. You know, she just kept burying it, and she just kept stuffing it and stuffing it. And anytime I would bring it up, she couldn't even muster any words. It was, I can't. I don't have time for this.
About your brother.
About my, well, and it got to be about anything.
Okay.
Because there was a lot of animosity that my mom had for Brandon.
Okay.
Because she was carrying over her issues with my dad. And it was.
So she'd project him to him on his.
Right. Because she knew that he was drinking a little
Yes.
bit. Yeah. Okay.
She did
Got, for sure.
And
Yeah.
so,
Understood.
Yeah. And so it was, and I was trying to like, my grandma, God bless her, my grandma was such a huge blessing because she would just, at the end of the day, she would say, well, do you love him? Yeah. And I would say, okay. And she said, so what are we going to do about that? You're going to show up every day doing what you can to make his day easier. What can you take off his plate? Well, then I created a monster because then he was like, well, here, take it all.
Right.
And I'll go to work. You deal with all of it. And
more time to drink.
yes. But I still live by those principles. I still love that thought of with people in my life in general is how can I make your day easier? What can I do that'll take some of that?
Codependent, though? Would it be considered codependent?
It depends on the motive.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not doing it for you to, in the beginning I did, but I did do the whole codependency breakdown. I'm not doing it because I'm afraid you'll be upset with me if I don't. I'm genuinely doing it because I see you've got a lot on your plate today.
Okay.
What can I get up and make your lunch? Can I, make coffee? What can I do, that's going to ease that burden just a little bit? But that comes from years of learning how to build boundaries that I didn't understand. I had to figure that out too, and keep trying to allow people into my life when I don't want to. I don't want to trust people. I don't want to.
You don't like Bonnie. You don't like people.
I was just say, you sound like we're sitting across from Bonnie right now.
Yes.
So.
I mean, I genuinely feel that
Do you
there
like to
are
punch
good
people?
Yes,
In the
there are a
throat?
good amount of people that need a good throat punch.
Throat punch a bitch.
They need it. You get people
I don't blame you. Hey, you're absolutely right. That's where we are in society today. Because back in the day,
nobody
you get
is
punched in the
held
head.
accountable for how they behave.
I agree with you.
So, anyways, but yes, it's been, it's crazy because I have forgotten a lot of. There's a lot I don't remember, and I know that is part of just surviving, putting my head down.
It's self-preservation.
Yeah, it's that self-preservation because this, as I said, as we go, shit like I was just talking to you about. I had somebody pass away, and wow, did I have a flood of memories come back. I forgot a lot of shit.
Yeah.
A lot of shit until this guy, I heard he passed away, and I was like, I had to deal with that yesterday, so I understood.
So I didn't really have anyone that, because also, mind you, at this point in time, I wasn't very good at expressing the struggles I was having. I was just angry because he was out partying and drinking, and I'm trying to raise 2 kids in a household that's chaotic, and I'm doing everything I can to keep the chaos to a minimum, which is not healthy either.
So Brandon don't get angry?
Yes.
When the kids don't see, the kids aren't as affected as they would be. You try to shield them and protect them.
And so so my delivery wasn't great either. And so when I would reach for somebody to, like, I wanted them to tell me, like, what was wrong with me? Like, what was I doing that caused him to do what he was doing? And it all boiled down to, you just need to leave. I'm like, but that's I don't want to.
Right.
That's not what I want. And so it took me a long time to learn how, I got to where I would just keep my mouth shut. Because the advice that I was getting wasn't really healthy advice. And I wasn't asking the right questions because I didn't know what to ask. And I wasn't asking the right people. I wasn't asking people that had a healthy, good marriage. I was asking people that were either alcoholics themselves in a dysfunctional, because these are the people that I knew.
Right.
I didn't really know anybody that had a healthy long-term marriage. And the ones I did had died. So I got to where it just, it was, what can you do to heal as much as you can?
And to minimize the damage.
And so that is where a lot of the things with my kids was their opinion of him is truly their opinion of him. That isn't, I never use them as leverage. I would never tell them, like, just tell him, well, if you don't, the kids are going to hate you. Or I was quite the opposite. It was, please don't do this. We don't want our children to look at us like we looked at our dads. And we promised that we wouldn't do that they would not look at us and have those feelings that we have towards our fathers. And it was just a reminder, and I probably sound like a broken record just telling him, and he just kept beating himself up, and then it would just cycle would repeat.
Guilt, shame, remorse, drink.
Right.
Guilt, shame, remorse, drink. Guilt, shame, remorse, drink, use.
Yeah.
Yes.
Over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And
years.
so, yeah. So, I've tried to keep the relationship with him and his kids, even when I wasn't even sure if we had a relationship. I mean, there were so many times I had no idea what was going to happen. And honest to God, thought I would bury him before anything else. And so, I mean, the sirens, anytime a phone would ring, it just immediately was,
And we don't, when we've all said it, the three of us, I guarantee have said it. I'm not hurting anybody. Bills are paid, blah, blah, blah. We don't think about that, because my parents are dead. They died long before I got sober. I worked with my father. The sirens, the worry that we fucking caused by our actions.
Never could understand why she had such a hard time with my drinking.
But
Never
we
could
think
understand
but we think it ended with the harsh words or the things we said or the things we did. No, the
We
things
never argued. We didn't have financial problems.
that kind of stuff is so.
But it was
that damage.
Yeah, but it was just a simple fact that she saw me killing myself. She knew it, right? That was the rough part for her to watch.
It is. It's very difficult because, especially when you love someone, you want to step back. You want to look away. Like, you want to say, if you're going to continue to do this, at least for me, I can't watch you do this. And then I think, is that what you do when you truly love someone? Is that what you do? Do you really walk away from them? And I struggled with that. I struggled with, how would I want, I wasn't an alcoholic, but how would I want someone to show up for me? Someone that said that, because I've had plenty of people tell me they love me and stab me in the back as quick as they said it.
True fact.
And so it's been very important to me that when I tell you that, when I say that to somebody, that there are no strings attached. I have no ulterior motive. There's no hidden agenda. I love you with all your faults, all your bad decisions. I accept it. And that's how I felt with him. And if that's truly how I felt, could I walk away? And it was always no.
Brandon, at some point, did you feel fraction, or did you? I don't know if that's the right word. How hard did you feel it?
It had been there for a while. She told me one time, she says, are we even married, or are we just living together? We're just roommates. And it's what it was. At certain points, that's where we were at. And I didn't want to take any steps to make it any better. Or if I did, I'd just fuck it up in a few days. Because I didn't have to drink every single day. I could go a few days. But
did you have to have something, though?
Yeah. I would drink moderately. Drink 8 or 10 beers instead of 15 or 20 and not get completely out there.
There's that alcoholic brain, though.
Yeah.
Moderately 6 or 8, right? That's moderate. That's a fucking lot of
He
beer.
said 8 or 10. He didn't say 6 or 8. He said 8 or 10. I heard
Right. That's not moderate.
For me, it was either a fifth or 2. I could do 3 pints or a fifth.
But it would never last.
Right.
I mean, because,
alcoholic.
knowing what I know now, that it's never going to happen.
No.
You know, I can't moderate. And I learned that when I went back out the last time, because I thought that I was good. You know, in between 30 years between rehabs, that was what I needed. And someone foolishly told me that. They said, you just needed a reset. And I thought, they're right. That's what I needed, was a reset. Now, if I go back, I can handle this.
You need to find that prick and punch him.
And it didn't take long, and I was, back to where I was or worse. And so I just wasn't ready to make the changes in my mind like I've done now to make things better. And I mean, I'm really glad that I did. I know she's glad.
I am. I'm very glad.
I told her, I wrote her a card at Valentine's Day, and I put in there, I said, I need like 30 or 40 more Valentines to make this up to you, because the last 30 were pretty bad. And I meant it.
No, it was very sweet. It was more than that. It was very sweet.
I need a lot of time to make up for all the time I wasted and I ruined. And
But I tell him I don't expect him to move mountains.
And that was that right there, Brandon, that leaving amends, right? We talk about, you can't continue to feel that way, because the longer you feel that way, you
and
project,
I don't.
right?
We're bringing it all up.
Right.
And
No.
That was my apprehension.
But don't ever forget it. Don't ever fucking forget it.
Don't forget.
Rob, you're correct, but our wives don't want us to continually grovel over that. They're happy we're at right now.
Yep.
We're here.
Yes.
Fuck everything. We're here.
Yep.
Don't bring this shit up no more. Don't grovel about it. Let's go.
And Jamie is amazing at that. I don't get.
So is Katie.
I don't get the stuff thrown back like, well, remember this and remember you when you said.
Well, but you know what happens, and I'm dealing with that right now with a gentleman that's going on, and guess what? It's destroyed.
Yeah,
The relationship's destroyed.
Yeah,
now.
destroyed.
Well, but then here's the great gift that my wife gave me when I went to do my night step amends and sat down. I did the kids, and she says, "I don't care. I don't care about yesterday. All I care about is where we go from here today."
Yeah.
What a gift.
And I told Katie right from the very beginning when I was doing my amends, I can't do an apology tour with you. I can't.
Well, I was supposed to
won't.
apologize anyway, remember? What's your sponsor say?
But he was a fucking dummy, though. But I couldn't do an amends to her because I didn't even know where to fucking start. I didn't even know where to start.
Yeah, I mean, mine was pretty generic. It was, and then that's when I talked.
You had
to
mentioned
you
that on the
guys.
Saturday as well. Kind of.
Yeah, I did. Well, and she even said, she goes, that was kind of, I let you go on that because, and I felt like saying, well, yeah, I'd be there for a week telling you.
I didn't want him to break everything down.
Yeah.
It was more like he came to me. He was like, I know what I did. You know what I did.
It's kind of the way I asked Katie to marry me. I was like, if I buy that ring, will you marry me? Okay.
And it was kind of like, okay, like I know where your heart is. Like I know that this is very difficult for you. Yeah. So this isn't a pass. I'm gonna give you this because you needed that momentum to go into amends with his kids. And that to me was far more important because I know me. So I'm like, okay, I'll be fine. So I just said, okay. But I said it would be nice to have for you to put some thought into it to come back. Not that I'm going to throw it in his face or not that I need him to bullet point everything.
Right.
But more of a recognition of just I've had to come to terms with our past. And it's more of that. It's more coming to terms with I've screwed up. You've screwed up. But now we need to make a choice. We want to create a new marriage. Right. It can't be like it was before. I don't want it like it was before. So we have to make a decision to move forward. That's why it's important to not throw things back in people's faces, especially when they're making that living amends, when they're working on showing up better every day. It serves no one. to bring something up from someone's past and say, you know, do you remember this? You know,
and it's hard. It's hard for us because it is for me. Let me make sure I say it was hard for me because there was never going to be a thing that I could apologize for one certain incident. Right? I didn't have. For me, I didn't have incidents. I had a whole 10 years of shit. Right? I had.
But women remember.
They do.
Moments.
You know, and I was blessed where, you know, Katie, when I went to her and I'm like, you know, I didn't know how to do it. I didn't. Right? How the fuck do you apologize for dragging the person that you love the most through just piles and piles of shit? How do you can't. So that's where I say I couldn't do it to my daughters, right? I couldn't do it to my wife. I just couldn't say this is what I hear. You know, we've had moments, you know, me and Kenneth had moments. Me and Miranda's had, and me and Katie have. You know, Katie and I something will trigger with us now, and we'll go into a discussion that is deep. You know, I'm talking deep shit that's like back.
But what Jamie said is, you know, I don't expect him to move mountains. That's what we want. We would rather you ask us, hey, I don't need any words. Go move that fucking mountain and we're good. We'll dig till we're dead. Just because we want to fix. Once we have that feeling, all we want to do is fix and make right. Yeah. And it takes time.
Right. It does.
And to build trust. And it takes time. There's not one act that's going to cover
nothing.
A decade plus or 30 years of acts. It's just not going to.
Couple questions, Jamie, is when did you, because when Kim and Mike were in here, I think Kim said it and it was just.
This is Kim and Mike Stillman.
God, it was just the way she said it. I wish I could repeat it, but she basically said, when I finally turned him over to God.
She gave him over to God.
She said, I finally gave him over to God is when he got sober.
But it's when she also had peace too. She was like,
she had peace and she finally
quit fighting.
And it was shortly after that he got sober. And I truly believe it was the same thing with Katie. When she turned me over and was like, stopped, I felt it. The fight stop. And I'm like, that's what scared the shit out of me. It's like, oh shit, she's not fighting anymore. You know, did you at some point stop and just turn him over?
Yeah, but it took a lot longer.
Did it?
For him to get sober. 2015, that was my...
Okay, you did.
That was my turning point.
Well, it took you 10 years then.
9.
Yeah. You know, we have just experienced so much loss in our families, both of us, and they kind of hit us there for a while. It was, at least one a year. Wow. And if they didn't die, then it was, a horrific accident, So we had a decade of just, and then my health issues, and I was like, I just remember seeing the relief on his face wasn't because I was going to be okay. It was so he could continue doing what he wanted to do. And that was like, when I saw that, we were leaving oncology at UCSF, and I thought, okay, I got you.
Wow.
And that's when I got home, and I prayed, and I thought, you just please help me just let go. And it's funny because I've had the same prayer for other family members this past few years. Please help me let go. Like, help me still love, but to let go. And so it was really hard, but that's when I really started to kind of pull away a little bit because I couldn't be in the thick of it. I knew there was no way I was going to survive another 20 years like the previous. So yes, 2015 was I just turned him over. I was just like, whatever happens, happens.
Did you feel that? Did I ask that?
You did. No. I mean, I felt it over the years, but no, I don't. I couldn't tell you that. Yeah, I knew it in 2015
because we're so into our and now you understand what the one thing that pisses me off of the rooms, which I say different. There's a few things I say different. You know, when they come, I'll love you till you learn to love yourself. Fuck you. Alcohol only loves himself. Right. It may be a self-destructive, unhealthy kind of love, but all we cared about was ourselves, and that's why I tell them, I'll love you till you learn to love another human being. Because fuck, all you ever do is love yourself. That's all. I mean, it's just what it is, and there's the example.
I felt it with Katie, because there was just no communication at home anymore. Zero. There
were moments that I would see it, and that last drunk, I really saw it.
Yeah,
because me and Justin got toe to toe, and then she got between us, and the absolute hate she had in her eyes, I could just see it.
How does Jason say it?
She hated me. I was like,
why do I always have
what incomprehensible demoralization?
Yeah, that look on their face.
Yeah.
Right.
When Kim, with Jason,
right.
you're talking about, when Kim looked at him with that, I guarantee it was the same look. Just disgusted.
Same
like,
look. Same exact look.
It was just, what are you doing?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, it was just a.
And I think that was a spiritual awakening, because when I woke up that next morning, I was like, I gotta change right now. I mean, this is gonna happen today.
Were you at the meeting that day?
No. Remember, that was a Sunday.
Right.
I got up and went to work on Monday. Yeah. I came home early because I knew I had to patch.
You didn't even make it all the way to work.
No, I went to work that morning.
Okay.
I stayed a couple hours, maybe an hour and a half, and I went home. And I went in my trailer and I laid down for about 3 hours and just laid there and thought. And she was gone. She probably went out to the horses or something. And when she came back, I was sitting on the bed and I told her, I said, look, I know I messed up. She didn't want to hear it. She was.
Same old shit again, huh?
Yeah. And I told her, I said, I'll quit. I'll quit right now. I said, I will go pour out the beer and everything I got. And I won't take another drink.
Those chiladas you bought.
Yep.
I remember.
I'd finally found them in 12-ounce cans, and I was hung over, and I could have really used one. And I said, no, if you drink one, you've already proved to yourself what one does. And I just poured them all out. I was going to tell her, come watch, and I thought, no, just do it. Just do it and make the decision. And then Thursday is when I went to Escalon. And
then the next Thursday
is when I introduced myself to you. And
I thought I owed him a men's. He goes, you go to Oakdale High School? I said, yeah. I go, do I owe you an amends? No. Yeah.
We had hair then.
Yeah, back in high school.
Yeah. And then I saw you, and I heard you say your name, and I was like, yeah, I went to school with that dude. I remember him. Cocky jock guy. I remember him.
Little bastard.
Yeah.
Jamie.
Yes.
The man he is now or the man you married?
He's just better. The man he is now is just, this is who I knew he was supposed to be. This man is the man I knew he was supposed to be. I'm not romanticizing the potential.
No.
This is, when no one else was around in the very beginning, who he showed up as, his true Brandon, that's him. And it took him a long time to see that. But, it's crazy because, like I tell people, I'm so proud of him. I am so proud. And I didn't have anything to really be proud of when it came to him for a long time. I mean,
ashamed and all the other adjectives would.
Other than our two children that are like, they are my most precious gift. Man, I would just be like, how are you just throwing away your life? How are you doing this? And I couldn't understand it. It didn't have anything to be proud of. And for a long time, people thought I made my husband up. It's kind of a joke in our family. We had quite a few people that thought that I was too embarrassed to admit that I was divorced. And I just made up a husband. And I was like, no, he's just doing his thing and I'm doing mine. And, when they actually saw him, they were like, wow, she really.
He does exist.
He does exist. And now that's kind of how I feel to myself. He does exist. He is here. And so I don't just tell other people. I try to tell him too, how proud I am of him, and just how nice it is to breathe around him again, to be able to take a breath and sit next to him. So
I want to read something. This is
desperately
Is that
trying
my
to
text?
get. I'm desperately trying to get the.
I don't even remember what I said.
Well,
I'm desperately trying to get the Facebook messages that you and I went back and forth with. Right, it was very at the beginning.
well, this is May 7th, 2025. Because as again, when some wives when they do reach out,
So I was
like I told
about
you,
9 months sober.
May 7th, 2025.
Oh, he's so angry.
Happy Friday. Hope all is well. Just a question, because I'm curious. Is it normal to be moody, distant, quiet, and irritated all the time? In early sobriety. The past few months have been rough. Not trying to gain info, just more insight. Oh. Is this a concern or is it normal, etc.? Just looking for words of encouragement. God. I'll read that again because it bears repeating.
Yeah.
Happy Friday, all is well. Hope all is well. Just a question. This is curmudgeon, Justin. This is why he got that nickname. Is it normal to be moody, distant, quiet, and irritated all the time in early sobriety? The past few months have been rough. Not trying to gain info, but just insight. Just looking for words of encouragement. I won't read you what I said, but
May 7th. So 2 days later was my surprise birthday party.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Well, because I knew about that. We've been working on that and keeping all the boys,
Yeah.
But he was pissed.
Surprised.
He was pissed off at you because no one was saying nothing about his 50th coming up, and we were keeping it all hush hush. He was.
Yeah.
He was like, I think everybody's forgotten.
I've always made a big deal about my birthday.
Oh yeah, but she was doing it on purpose, to keeping it all hush hush, so you wouldn't get nothing. He was getting his old selfish ass was getting pissed
And
off.
I could see it, but I was I'm not giving in. I'm not telling him what we're doing. Yeah.
But tell us about that. 2 days later, you have your surprise party. What was that like? Or,
was it before? The party was on the 5th. So it must have been after that.
Where the hell were we at? We ended up. I don't know. I'm trying to remember where we ended up going.
Anyways.
Yeah.
But
Brandon's early sobriety was not. My first year was hell.
It was brutal.
But once he got past the year, and I was just trying to give you. When I gave her Brand, I gave her words of encouragement. But then not everybody uses. There's a lot of people like Larry. It was great. Mine was not. His was not.
No.
I got what Brandon went through. I was that way the last 8 to 10 weeks of my alcoholism. I was an angry individual. I wanted to hate, kill, punch everybody. And about day 26 of my sobriety is when that left me, and it left me in an instant, and never even looked back again. Every day. Now, I went through some times, and you guys have heard me say this. I heard that little girl in the back of the room say I heard myself laugh for the first time. Yeah. I went through some periods of time there. I didn't know how to be happy and have joy, but I wasn't angry. Right.
What I think it took was once I hit that year, and then I had a mission, start that new meeting. And I needed something. Yeah. And I think that really helped get me over that hump because I started.
Service.
I was just going to say it's service.
I had to do something. I had to go do the legwork. Yeah. And that gave me something to do. And now I have to be there every Saturday. I needed some purpose, I guess.
You get to.
I needed something to keep me going because I was just I felt like I was floundering.
But that was
just being sober.
But it was a watershed moment for you. Because you've been giving back, but you didn't feel like, fuck, is this all there is? But then we had some of the fishing. We've had fun, and we're coming up. Yeah. But you were just, it was a slow burn.
It was.
For some reason, it's
but
cut
slow.
off.
But slow burns burn hotter.
I have the one when she sent me that you have when you got baptized.
Yes.
And I asked her, did the water boil?
That's the one I gave you.
Okay, that's the one. But then, that's the one I was just looking at. But you had posted something, and I'll find it. We wasted too much time talking about it, but I was absolutely impressed with what Jamie said about Brandon, and she got it from the very beginning, right? She understood what he was going through. And I remember reaching out to you through Facebook saying, nice, you get it. He's getting there. And we had a conversation. It may even be based straight, and it doesn't matter. But, I mean, Jamie got it fairly early. I can remember that. Brandon took a little bit longer to realize, to buy into the system and to buy into what this thing is going to do. And it's going to tear you upside down. Turned him over, right? And got down to the cause and conditions of what the fuck was wrong with him. I think that's the first F word in 2 episodes.
Yeah, I did. I landed about 4 of them today.
So I had all of them with Kurt. Anyways, and it took him a little while, but once he got it, so what was fun to watch about Brandon was the roller coasters, right? Those roller
that was fun.
Oh my God, it was for me because I knew that's a fucking.
Well, he would come into
Jamie,
Jamie. He'd come into our meetings, and he would let something bother him for a week. You know it's bothering. Hey, Brandon, you know it's bothering. Hey, you just sit there in pain for a while. Then eventually he's either pissed off at me or
the best was when he was pissed off at Rob. At one, everybody in there could see he was pissed and he wasn't talking at all.
Yeah.
Finally,
I heard all about it.
Goes,
yeah.
It's something on your mind? Oh boy,
And then
boy,
I
was
just
it?
let it out, and then that's what I realized. Okay, these guys. That's what this meeting's
Right.
for. Maybe I didn't know at that
that's
time.
it's for us.
It was
Because I'd been to AA meetings and there's no back and forth.
that meeting's very different.
That meeting saved my life.
If Mondays and Saturdays all I have,
That's all I got.
I'm good.
Right.
That's all I need.
That's
I'm
all
good.
I need.
agree.
Right. And my problem is I keep letting myself schedule myself out on Mondays, and I got to stop that.
You missed a banger last week, dude. It was.
I know,
The
but
Spirit of God was in that.
Right.
So heavy. It was amazing.
right.
Maybe because you weren't there, huh, Brandon?
Yeah, fuck you. There's 2, you prick. You made me say F word a second time.
I made you do that?
Yeah, you did.
Really?
You pulled it out of me, you prick.
Jesus. 2 pricks and a fuck.
Brandon.
Yes.
How you feeling, buddy? You've had 2.
I feel good. That was.
You've had 2 of them now.
Yeah. And
You know what? Why did we not have your daughter come? Why?
we're gonna have to have her. Well, she has the baby. He's
Okay.
2.5. We'll have to have Jamie come.
Yeah.
Have her come
Right.
when you get some time.
No.
And
We'll-
Jamie
we'll
can watch
make it.
Tough.
Yeah.
And yeah, the waterworks for me are gonna pour.
Yeah.
But Brandon, now that I want to ask a question for you. Now going to be your journey.
Yes.
Because in 2015, after your wife, this fucking mic's pissed me
Like
off.
your limp Peter.
Wow.
Hey, he's
Sorry, Bonnie.
We've spooned together. That's why he knows that shit. That's 5th step stuff. That's bullshit.
Oh my goodness.
I'll get on my little blue pills. You'll be fucked. Anyway, in 2015, Jamie's watershed moment.
Yeah.
When she saw, okay, he loves that, which is true, right? And then when God gives us that he turns our heart of stone into flesh again, and we feel, it's tight as a motherfucker, dude. Wow. Do you love your family? Because the watershed moment for you,
Then or now?
No. The watershed moment for you was when you were going to kill him, right? You threatened that, and then you got sober. Today, now,
More than I ever did. Yeah, I mean, if I'd have kept going,
what about
I'd
appreciation?
either killed myself, them, or just ruined everything. And when I heard Norm at primary told me one night, because I was a blackout drinker, and there for years I don't remember what happened after 6 o'clock, because I would come home from work and I would immediately it was hammered down to where I could. So I thought that's how I had to go to sleep.
Amen.
So I would start pounding him as soon as I could. Jamie would say, "I feel like I get an hour with you before you're incoherent," and I'd say, "Well, that's about right. You better
hurry.
Say what you need to say, and let's talk about it now because I'm on my way." Anyways, Norm from Primary Purpose, his son committed suicide, and he told me, he said, "Being a blackout drinker, you're lucky you quit when you did, because you may have done all of that in a blackout."
All right.
And I thought, and I heard that early on. That was within probably the first 90 days. It didn't really all sink in. I'm a slow learner.
Oh boy. Yes.
It's all starting to come together. I'm glad. I wish I'd have done it sooner, but I wouldn't have learned everything. I wouldn't be who I am. And I don't think this message would be as powerful if I'd have got sober
God's timing.
20 years ago.
God's timing. My and without a doubt, God's timing, because mine was some peckerhead who had some chairs turned around backwards.
Yeah.
That literally lit my world upside down before I got home to my family, right? Yours took many different things for you to come to, for it to go there. Yeah. Rob's was different. We're all different. We all come about that differently. You know, every time I hear Rob say that he wanted to stick a 45 in his mouth.
I had it there. I didn't want to. I had it in my mouth.
Fucking rips my heart out.
That's been my first
rips
year.
my heart out to hear that.
Hard is bad.
But you know, but everybody comes about it differently. You know, and I think that goes, you know, just to the listeners. If you're working through this, keep working. Don't stop. Keep working. You know, if
but make sure you have good sponsorship.
Yes.
Make sure, because I got 2 calls. I got a call last night at 10 o'clock at night. I got a call at 10:45 from 2 different, you know, and one in the middle of steps. One he's a couple years sober, but call.
Right.
We'll have a 15-minute fun conversation.
And if your sponsor don't answer, call somebody else.
Yeah, we'll go back
Get
to
a
sleep.
group.
It'd be great. But I didn't have that available to me.
Yeah, and that's why I think, Rob, that you started this, and you and Aaron and started this, was because of this. We have this camaraderie that we can literally hold each other accountable, and you know, and that is, to me, is the most important thing. And here, Jamie and Brandon and I know Rob and Bonnie has it, and I definitely have it with Katie. Is the relationship I have with my wife is what I had as a sponsor when I was first getting sober. I can talk to her now as I would talk to Rob, right? Anything I would talk to Rob, I just talk to Katie about. She's in my house.
As long as it won't hurt my wife.
No, right.
You know, I mean, that's something I'm going to bring up. Not hurt her, but make her think differently of someone else. Then I'll just bring it. I'll just talk to the boys. Because I don't want her to think any different about other people. So
same thing, Rob. I mean, there's certain things I won't bring in our group into Katie.
Right, my little fear inventory, I didn't take it to my wife. I took it to my son and then you yesterday.
But if there's things that inside, anyways. So I mean, you guys will learn that relationship if you have. Maybe you have already, and you finally figure that out, and you feel that way. I mean, like I said, Katie and I will get in a conversation sometimes and that are deep. Right. And I'm like, when we're done, I'm like, I don't even know where the fuck that came from, but my God, I'm glad it did. Right. And it's just, those are just blessings that I'd have never done it 20 years ago when we first got married. Right. I was never that man.
Okay.
Never.
We've asked this of Bonnie and everything, because I don't know if you might have heard her answer, you know, thank you for sticking around. But, because here's, okay. Bonnie stuck around, obviously. She goes, and so the question was, if you'd seen this man, well, she goes, if I saw this Rob with another woman, I'd kill them both. I'd burn them in their fucking house. You know, I wasn't going to go through all the bullshit, then let someone else get the best part, get the best version.
I
so I'd kill them all.
I heard Bonnie say that because I was like,
are you glad? Okay, are you glad you stuck around now?
Oh yeah, no, I am. I am glad. It's not for everyone.
My question was going to be, what would your advice be to a woman who was where you were? I mean, because, honey, you were there for a lot of years.
I was. And it's not for everyone. And I think that if this is the path that you're on, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But also, sweetheart, you got to step back. And you're going to have to ask yourself some hard questions. And I spent a couple of years with the help of a really good friend who recently passed, who really opened my eyes up to what a broken man was. It helped me just work through all my reasons why. And at the end of the day, he was always my reason why. If that's where you're at, then you hang in there. You know, if at the end of the day, they're your reason why, and I'm not talking about a, codependency thing. I married this man, and he was the reason that I had these 2 amazing kids. And he was the first time I felt safe. And I couldn't let that go. So if I had to carry some things that I really didn't want to carry to hopefully get him to a point where he made the decision that he made to put it down, to get sober, then I was willing to do that. But I didn't go into it blindly. In the beginning, I was blind to it. But I took quite a few years of some deep soul searching, and I got counseling myself, and it's not an easy road. It's a very lonely road. And it's really nice to not have to do life alone anymore. So, but that's an individual's choice. But that's some soul searching on that one, because it isn't for everyone.
Bonnie said the only difference was there was never any violence in the home. I wasn't a violent person, so that would be the only advice difference you'd give if you're getting beat or the kids are getting beat.
No, I agree, because he never laid hands on me either. So that, yes, no, if you're in an unsafe environment, that's a completely different situation. But if you're just choosing to stay because they're struggling, I knew as soon as I seen him go off the rails that he was chasing demons, and he didn't know how to get rid of them.
Nope.
And I think when you know someone's history, you know someone's trauma, because he knew mine and I knew his.
That gives you a little grace.
It does. It's like I knew that I've made a lot of mistakes too, and I wouldn't want him to bail on me. And I just couldn't see myself bailing on him. So, like I said, I've made a lot of mistakes. I'm not perfect. I've struggled a lot through our marriage too. But I just kept searching for answers, kept searching for, like, how do I, it's like when I walked into Al-Anon, literally the reason I walked into Al-Anon was, how do I help him maintain sobriety? That's how I walked into Al-Anon. And they were like, well, that's not really what we do here. And I was like,
see ya.
Okay, well, I might be in the wrong room, but no, it was quite eye-opening, because that was what I thought I was doing. Like, I thought I was going to help maintain sobriety. So I've had a lot of growth myself, but it's a process. And I think life is full of grace. Oh, and you cannot expect someone to forgive you if you're unwilling to forgive someone else, no matter the grievance. Because whatever your scale of bad is, it's different for everyone. There was someone at some point that forgave you for something egregious. Absolutely. And if somebody is coming to you and they're saying truly, like, heartfelt, not in a manipulating way, I am, there are no words.
And there aren't.
I am so sorry, and that isn't even sufficient. And to me, it's like, you know what? That's enough. Because forgiveness is an action. You have to choose every day to let go of those resentments. You have to choose every day to replace that with, not that it was okay, it was done, but with grace, with saying, I love this person enough to stay, then I need to love them enough to heal, and I need to love them enough to let this go.
That's AA.
Yep.
And so, God. Well, that's God.
Yeah.
That's God.
And so that's how I.
It's amazing who we marry, him. Brandon.
Yeah.
Thank God.
She's amazing. I love you.
I love you too. So.
Quick question.
Yes.
What point in his journey, from the time he says I'm quitting, did you finally go, I think he's going to be okay?
I think this one's going to stick.
Yeah.
It's funny because the first time around when he went to rehab, it was that I had contemplated a couple of times, like, I just want to go grab a bottle. I want to go get a bottle of Jameson and hand it to him and say, for God's sake, please start drinking again, because I can't take
the white
this.
knuckling.
Like, this is worse than when, at least then by 6:30, the house had peace because you were asleep.
Well,
like,
that's bad.
Yeah.
And that's how it was. And it's the second time around. So this last time, it was almost within the first 60 days. It was like, it didn't mean that I trusted he was going to stay sober, but it felt different.
Okay.
In like the first 60, 90 days, it felt different. he felt different, and it felt familiar because I was like, okay, this is the guy that I wanted.
Glimpses
early. Yeah. You got that early.
So I was like, wait a second. And it wasn't that it was like my nervous system recognized it, not so much my brain. It was like how I felt. And I thought, okay, well, we're going to go with this. But then it took about a year before I really, like, I could take a deep breath and say, I know I can't future project. Like, I get that. But I go to bed with a sober husband, and I do not for 1 second think I'm going to wake up to a drunk. And that's a really, like, that's a freeing feeling.
For Katie, I think it when I'm going to go to the grocery store or something, she does, before.
Does she going to come back with groceries?
Right. Yeah. I mean, those are the things where, or even for her, even my Copenhagen, I don't know what it is. The other day, I was like, I'm going to go do I'm going to go over and see my dad. Well, that was my number one thing. I'm going to go see my dad. I'm going to fucking drink. Right. That's exactly what that meant. Or, and I think I did that here a while back, even with my Copenhagen. She's like, excuse me?
He never hid it, though. Like
I didn't hide it.
He was very, I mean.
I did.
I'm sure he lied to me about a bunch of things, but drinking wasn't one of them.
No.
And so I wasn't, if he tells me he's not drinking.
Just when I first relapsed, I would tell you, I'm just going to drink one tall can and one shot.
Yeah, I already knew.
I was drinking 4 tall cans and 4 shots, and then I'd bring home one of each and be like, here we go.
But I already knew that, though.
Yeah.
Katie's shaking her head over here. She knows.
Yeah, I already knew because I had already seen, like, the red tips on the ears.
Right, the red.
And the fleshness, and so, and I would just look at him and just be like.
We're so stupid. We think we're getting away with it.
No, but it's a very freeing feeling to know that. But it took a while. It took a while to. I'm still working through waiting for that shoe to drop feeling. Not so much with him, more with family.
Okay.
It's been crazy because I blamed him for a lot of years, and I've apologized many times for this, but I blamed him a lot of years for the anxiety that I felt. I just felt like I would tell him, I was like, gosh, you contributed so much to and what's weird is.
He got sober and you still had it?
He got sober, and my anxiety, the first time he got sober, my anxiety had gone away. And I was like, okay, this is really strange. And I even remember telling him, I think I'm broken. I think, because I don't remember never having anxiety. And I was like, I don't know what happened, but I think I'm broken. And he relapsed. And the anxiety never came back. And I put myself in a situation with family that I had seen them, and it came back. It was a tsunami. And I thought, oh my goodness. And I immediately, the first thing I did was I apologized to him. I said, I am so sorry that I blamed you all these years for, contributing this much to my anxiety. And come to find out that, he did to some degree, I'm sure, but he didn't, it wasn't him.
It's family.
It was family. And that's why when I say it's so important, because when I sit next to him, it feels true. That's what I mean.
Right.
Because I had lost that for a while, for a long while. And so to have that back, I don't need a kitchen. I don't need a truck. I don't need
carpet.
I don't need carpet. I don't need those things. To me, it's, I needed that safety. I needed that person in your corner that, that never backs down. So.
Well, you got him.
Yes.
I'm got grateful. Him. And I think we're all thankful for him. I mean,
that doesn't stop fucking smiling.
Well, I mean, just the taking over that Saturday morning like you did. I mean, that just,
and look at it. Look at what God's done.
Oh my gosh, that Saturday meeting is just, it blows up. You got to look for places to sit anymore. Yeah. I mean, Hell, we may have to go back into that other
No,
room.
we'll add more fucking seats.
Well, the more people in there, the less the acoustics.
I don't know. We'll add more seats.
It's just, I mean, keeps getting piling and
Well, I'll tell you
piling
what,
and piling.
we'll let God decide what happens. How about that?
Yeah.
You know, and it just, and thank God that is, you know, for all of us that are in there, because that Saturday morning meeting, and that was just Brandon, you know, instead of getting a resentment against it, he solved it. Right?
Put it into action.
Yeah, he put it into action and resolved the problem.
My favorite Rob quote is, "Don't lean on a shovel and pray for a hole."
Right.
And that's what I text Larry. That's what I did.
Yeah. Exactly. He started digging, and it's just like, thank God for you, Brandon. And you know what? And I love having this right here, right? The Recovery Unfiltered started because of a dream I had of trying to help families. Vision of trying to help families, right? And we went a long ways until we got the family involved, you know.
Well, Katie was kicking the can down the road the whole time.
And then we got the families involved, and now the more I'm doing it, the more, you know, the more the people are just, it's helping families. It's helping families. And it's helping.
The emails that we get, I mean, if you guys got to see some of these,
right?
You know.
I share it with the group sometimes when I feel like it's, you know, necessary to share with the group. You know, I don't want people to think I'm bragging about this, but I want people to understand, you guys that have been on the podcast, you're all contributing to this, what we're doing. We're saving lives.
But there's a man, because the 45 story that he has, and I had it in my mouth. And then there's a gentleman that came on, and he had one, and but the story that changed him wasn't mine, was Mary's.
Yeah.
Was something 99. Coconut 99.
Yeah.
That story touched him.
Yep.
It's what God does with these is what God does with these. Yep. You know.
And it's just incredible what happens, and it's because people like Katie and Miranda, McKenna and Jamie, and you know, the Grace and Bonnie, and it's those people, not the addicts and the alcoholics.
No, it's the
Justin
children.
And the children.
The children and the wives are the ones that touch the most.
Those are the ones that are helping save lives, because hopefully another alcoholic hears this and goes, "I want to stop doing that to my family."
Yeah.
And I want to go down this road.
Thank you.
Right.
And thank you for not giving up on us when you had every fucking reason to do so.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. The wives and the families all had more than reason to just bounce and get.
And guess here's the thing, we would have.
Yes.
We're so selfish, we would have bounced.
Yeah.
We would have put up a quarter of the shit
if she
because we're so
told
selfish.
me to get out, I'd probably already had a bag packed. Say, thank God she finally did something. We just weren't thinking in our right minds. We weren't right.
But it was still us.
Yep, it was. So, all right, Brandon, thank you for sacrificing you to allow your family to come on here. Jamie and Justin, thank you for sacrificing, you know, everything you do to get on here to help somebody. Let's get Bree on here. I love the families. I think it's just, these are amazing.
Well, this what gives people hope. If you're there, if you were Brandon, or if you were Jamie, or if you were Justin, there is hope. I'm not saying this is going to be your outcome, but there is hope.
It's your outcome if you give it. If you do it, give all, right? What does it say? Let go absolute. You let go absolute, and I promise you, right? Rob says it all the time. If you turn this over for a year, right? I just texted this to somebody the other day. If you turn it over for a year, constantly, I promise you, at the end of that year, we'll refund your misery 100%.
Well, I'll call refund your misery 100%.
Starting tomorrow.
If you don't like what you get here, I wouldn't even give it a year. Try it for a month. What I tell Jason now, do what I do, everything I ask for 2 weeks. Right. If you don't like what you get, alcohol refund your misery. Right. You can go to prison.
Right. All right. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Recovery Unfiltered podcast. We appreciate you being here today. If you'd like to reach out to us, please email us at recoveryunfilteredpodcast.com. We will do our best to answer all of your emails.